What's up and welcome back to the Scuffed Ass Podcast for episode number 267. I hope that's right. I looked and then me and Wonder talked and now I'm not. I think it's 267 though. It's what we're going with. We're here. That's a Wonder. I'm a geek. I don't know.
Yep.
He has things to say and that's cool because I have to actually prep. So real quick, this week we have to record 2 times this week because starting on, I guess, the day this comes out, I will be moving. So next week I want to have the episode pre-done so I don't have to try to figure it out after I get there, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of figuring out and like assembling a house.
Right.
Yeah.
So are you gonna focus on moving your PC and all that stuff and getting it set up right away?
So my plan is Saturday, I am going to pack up like my bed frame, probably my desk, at least parts of it. Like the desk itself for sure, probably the computer, but maybe not, because that'll depend. But like then the TV stand, anything that I have that needs built, I'm going to take the first night because that's going to be most of the heaviest stuff anyways. And then I am going to stay there that night and just assemble the house. And then the next day, everybody else is going to come back again with hopefully the rest of my things. If not, there's maybe 3 trips. We'll see. I don't know how boxes are going to box. I can't predict that. So we'll see what fits where. Because maybe I can get more than I think on this first trip, and then the second trip won't be as bad, or whatever. Or maybe I won't be able to get nearly as much as I think on the first trip, and then you need more trip. But hopefully, like, maybe I just ordered a couch, because I went and looked at, like, that town to the T-town, that's all I'm going with, has, like, that store that, like, sells used things. Over by like Domino's. That's not revealing. Every town has a Domino's. But so went to that store and like the cheapest decent couch they had was like $500. I ordered one on Amazon for like $4. That was actually what I wanted. So it works. Like it had almost everything I wanted. Will it be as nice as the one that they had? Probably not. Because the one they had was the exact couch I used to own.
Oh,
just not broken. I sat in it and I was like, "Oh, dude!" But then I was like, "But this isn't exactly what I wanted," and it like is brown, which is a problem.
Yeah,
that doesn't really go with anything else in my house that's gonna be black and white. So, and then black and white, and then like purple accents everywhere except the kitchen, which has that weird like 50s blue. You know me. And my colors and accents and things.
Right.
But yeah, so Friday night, that's why I'm not, as you saw in the D&D Discord, that's why I'm not recording this week. Jedi's doing it because I'm gonna tear my desk apart on Thursday probably.
I seen you ask him if he would.
Yeah. That's because I gotta because I don't want to have to tear my desk apart on Friday. I'd like to Preferably, I'd like to have everything packed on Friday so that I can sleep, and then when I wake up on Saturday, we just go and start moving and then get another trip with hopefully it's only 2 trips, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Or maybe it'll be 3 trips, but only 2 times. Like maybe we take 2 vehicles this first. I don't know. Haven't fully worked out the plan, but
it'll all come together eventually.
Probably.
The big thing is just getting everything there, and then
you want to come with?
You'll have plenty.
Help me move stuff on Saturday.
What the hell do I got going on this week? I have something coming up this week.
I don't know. Also, I need to remember to go to your house one night this week and record all those videos we talked about that we didn't do last week.
True.
Yeah.
I was ready I kept waiting for you to ask, and
well, I kept I kept having shit to do. It was unfortunate.
Right.
It's almost like right as you're getting ready to move, it's almost like a lot of stuff happens, especially when you're moving far.
Yeah.
I know it's
yeah,
not that far,
definitely.
but it's still far.
Still a pain in the ass.
Right.
Drive.
It's a little less of a pain in the ass than that other city would have been, but
True.
yeah,
True that.
it's a little cheaper.
Exactly. But
yeah. So you had news. I'm intrigued.
oh yeah. So I went to game night tonight.
Bros throwing dice.
Yes. So we started a little earlier because we haven't got to game in the last 4 weeks because it's been busy. People have been busy
Yeah.
and things. So anyway, I go in, I get sat down, I get all my stuff. Everybody's starting. We're just getting ready to roll into things, and I look up and clip to the back wall up behind where the DM sits. You kind of know the layout. You've been there before.
Yeah.
There's this little onesie baby outfit, and it says Future Dungeon Master.
Is somebody else having a kid?
At first, I was like, they got something for, like a gift because I'm going to be a dad.
Because you're having a kid, yeah.
Right. And so then I thought, I about said something like, oh, that was nice. And then I was thinking, well, they've known for quite a while now. Why are they all of a sudden getting it? So then I was like, so who did that? And they were like, what? And I was like, up there on the wall, the Future Dungeon Master outfit. And everybody was kind of like quiet, and they said, well, what do you think? And I was like, well,
I don't know.
I was exactly what my thought process was. I was like, well, at first I thought it was for me, but I'm thinking this is kind of a little late. So there's only one other person in here really that I was like, well, there's only a couple other people in here really that would be able to have children. And I looked at
yikes.
One guy that sits straight across from me, and then I looked at the other guy, the owner of the house.
Yeah.
And he had this big old grin on his face, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And he goes, yep, September.
Oh my God.
And then I was like, so she's farther along than mine is? So yeah, they apparently have been, which is funny because we've been going to volleyball, and I kept noticing that, his wife was being a little strange, a little abnormal, because usually she keeps up with herself pretty well, keeps, always wears makeup, always does everything. And I noticed last time we went to volleyball, she wasn't wearing any makeup, kind of seemed to be not into volleyball as much as she normally is. And I mean, I thought it was weird. I just figured maybe she was stressed out or, had some stuff going on or whatever. And now, thinking back, all these weird clues that just adds up now. I understand. That makes sense. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. But I was like freaking out because I was like, we're going to have, when we come to D&D, Aspen can come and your wife and them can have a play date with the kids, and we can come down, and then when they get old enough, we can bring them down here and introduce them into D&D and make make them proper nerds.
Oh gods.
I don't know. I feel like I was more excited for their kid than I was for my own kid, and I felt bad about that. It's just because it's like I feel like, I'm not like I felt like my kid.
Now your kid has a friend he's there
right,
forced
exactly.
to have. I shouldn't be gendering your kid yet, but
right. But like I just feel like not anybody else's kids or everybody else has their kids and they're kind of older, and I'm kind of behind on the ball game with my classmates and everybody else in my life that are having kids. I was like, well, shit, man, they're gonna be kind of lonely,
Yeah. Interesting.
So could be a good friend opportunity. They'll be roughly the same age.
They'll be like a month apart.
A month apart, yeah. Yeah.
Or they'll be the exact same time. One comes a little late, one comes a little early.
Yeah.
Hit that first week of October vibe.
Yeah, because I think she's late September and we're late October.
Yeah, so like just meet in the middle of October.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. They just share a birthday. That wouldn't be annoying as hell.
Right.
Or confusing. What do you mean we're the only friends on the planet who have the same birthday? What do you mean
Right.
by that?
Yeah.
Incredible.
But I don't know. Apparently, love's in the air.
January? Well, no.
Yeah.
I mean, January, February, something like that. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess around Valentine's. They say January is the most depressing time of the year.
Let's say I was before Valentine, so
No, technically, you would have been like on Valentine's. Like it could line up when you look at 9 months. I guess like it's
I was about to say
close.
she's not. She's right at. So Sunday she'll be 9 weeks.
It was 9 weeks ago, not
Yeah. Well,
Valentine's Day, but
let's say I think it was like a week or two before Valentine's, technically.
Were you fucking on my birthday? That lines up weirdly not okay, man.
Hey, we had to celebrate.
Bro was not while watching the subathon.
We celebrate everything around here.
Goodness.
Any excuse.
Oh, awful. That's nuts. What is
anyway?
that?
That's all I had to talk about.
Oh, well, so there's kids. Oh, that's a water company. I see. That feels. Wait, maybe that's not that poorly priced. Maybe it is. I don't understand water prices. Like bottles of water.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't drink water, so.
Oh, and that's sparkling water. That's gross.
I cannot stand sparkling water. I know I just said I don't drink water, but I drink well water. That's about it. Every once in a while.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about this move for that. But hopefully my water filter's all right.
I was about to say, there's some good-ass water filters out there.
I got a Brita.
Like,
Can I pee in our Brita filter, Mark? That's what I'm going to think about every time I grab it out of the fridge. That's just what I'm going to think about. Don't pee in our Brita filter, Mark. I wasn't going to pee in the filter. I was going to pee in a cup and then pour it into Brita.
Right?
Because that makes a difference.
My brother bought like this $500 water testing kit or whatever.
Yeah.
And he tested his town's, which is the next town to the east of us, his town's water. And it wasn't terrible, but also wasn't great for the stuff that was in it. But I guess it's within legal, allowment. But
sure.
Anyway, they got this fancy filter device or whatever, and they filtered, ran the water through the filter and then retreated it, and it was clean. It was pure water. So I was like, oh, I guess that's a good way to test and see if your filter's working properly.
Right.
You don't get the lead and the chemicals and shit in it that had before. I guess it's doing its job.
What if I want lead?
I don't know. Did run your water through some lead pipes?
Yeah, no. Everything's weird.
I know.
Feels weird getting ready to move. I recorded the I'm gonna see how much of that intro I keep, but I recorded the intro for when I actually start the moving vlog because it's recorded as this is the last video I'm ever gonna record from the room where I started recording videos. That's kind of weird.
It's a crazy thought,
right? This is the crappy room where it all started.
Right. Well, it's weird because it's kind of in a way I've been a little depressed about this.
Oh.
It feels like for the longest time I've been in this period where life is just kind of drug along.
Right.
and was going really slow. And
COVID.
now, right.
I feel like that's
But
the hint here. But yeah. But now.
but now it's just like shit is flying by. I feel like I'm gonna blink and tomorrow I'm gonna be 50 years old.
Right?
It's just freaking flying by.
Yeah.
You know, shit's happening. You're moving. I'm having a kid.
Yeah.
I've moved. You know, I'm looking at trying to find a house.
So
Looking at
you're going to
career
move
options.
again?
You know,
Looking at career
yeah.
options. What are you looking at now?
Well, that was just part of the
Oh,
timeline. You
gotcha.
know, not necessarily in this order.
I thought you were saying you were doing something now. It's like, oh, God, it's again?
No, but I'm always watching, always
Fair.
looking. You
You
know,
gotta.
if something pops up and they want to offer me a job that pays $50 an hour to do, you know, whatever, and it's got good health insurance, why the fuck would I not do that? You know.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a stable job or something that's, you know, I don't have to worry about getting laid off from. That's
Fair.
my main thing. I want to know I have a job for, you know, until I retire if I choose
Maybe
to
you
stay
shouldn't
there.
have gotten to government.
I mean, if I was going to choose a government job, this one's probably one that's pretty goddamn safe.
No,
So,
that's fair. I would have said the same thing about like park rangers and stuff, but here we are.
yeah, but they're weird state though.
Well, yeah, because they're banning park services, and like next week, I'm sure they'll get rid of national parks so they can cut down all the timber. Because, as the stupid muskrat said, why do we import all of our timber from all these other places? Look at all these forests we have. Yeah, they're protected, dude. You can't just go flatten them. But he wants to because he's an idiot. Pretty soon, everything will be ugly, and you know who to thank.
Yeah. I don't know, but anyway, my I think my job's pretty
maybe
safe.
I don't know.
It's a job that has to be there, really.
Nothing's safe. Feels like nothing's safe anymore. That's what I know.
I mean, if I don't exist, all government buildings just fall apart and stop working. So, kind of a necessity. Plus, there's got to be a lot of shit that goes down before me in order for it to get to my level of,
that's fair,
you know, endangerment. You know, there are a lot of branches of government they got to go through to get to me. So I feel pretty safe. I mean, this job has existed since the 1920s and continues to, you know, hold strong.
That's fair.
And plus, not only that, we're not downgrading on the size of people that we need. We're actually hiring more people to do the same job. So we got another guy starting on the 1st, I believe. So
fair.
and I want to get him going and get him trained on the ropes as fast as possible because he actually lives in the town of the military camp.
No, so he
if
can
anything goes
help.
wrong, he can be the one that gets called first all the time instead of me being me because everybody else lives in the next 2 towns over to the east.
Fair.
So, yeah. Although I do like the comp time, but half the time I get a phone call, it's when I'm right in the middle of something and I'm busy. So, you know, and then my boss gets upset and he's like, you know, well, he doesn't really get upset. He just gives me a lot of shit. And it's like, well, dude, I have a life outside of work. You know that, right?
No.
You know, I technically am not on call. So for me to come in and fix something that's broken on my time is a luxury for you, not a given. So, whatever.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
I actually have started doing the stuff. Once I bought a voice shield so that once I move I can start applying to like actual voice acting jobs and stuff.
Oh.
And maybe just some actual acting ones. There's a bunch of stuff in Denver. Coming to a movie probably not near you. No. In theaters nowhere near you. No.
I mean, Got to start somewhere.
Right.
You want that kind of work.
The voice acting stuff, though, who knows what'll happen. Something cool could.
Right.
All I know is I have like 2 accents that I can actively fade in and out of really easily. I'm sure I can figure the other ones out. They'll take extra time to fade in and out of compared to, the couple I just actually know.
Yeah. Roy.
It's tough. It's tough.
It's tough and stuff.
It's tough and stuff. What? Jesus. Twitter's a weird place. I'm trying to look for more things to talk about. I had a plan that I was going to research and talk about things like for today, and then I got off of the call with Grayson, ate food, got in this call, and then you showed up. So,
well, oh, I did have something else that I've been seeing that I wanted to ask your opinion on.
Oh, gods.
Whether or not you've seen anything about it yet and what your take is on it.
Oh, no. Okay, I will prep a take. Let's go.
So, backstory to this, why I was interested on this.
Okay.
Remember a while back when we had an episode where we got to talking about, historical monuments and shit like that? More particularly like the pyramids of Giza.
Oh, yeah, that weird thing that came out about the pyramids. I've seen stuff. I have not looked into it to know if any of it's like possibly, because like I know it's a paper, like whatever's published is real, but I don't know if it's like a let me see.
Right.
I'm gonna look, but yeah, please continue talking about the pyramids, and while I look and try to find something that will tell me something I trust.
So for anyone who's watching this and don't understand what I'm talking about, apparently there's some really smart people who have some really high-tech underground, what do you call them, like seismographs technically, or
something similar to that.
Basically, like in essence, it's basically like doing a high-tech ultrasound through the ground, and they can tell you what kind of composition is in the ground. So if you have a piece of like concrete or something under the ground, and you go over this with these, with this piece of equipment, you can tell that it's got this type of density, and this is probably what it is, that it's concrete or whatever. So I guess there's and this took years to do, but I guess there's some scientists that had these machines, and they basically scanned all the way around and over the top of, and did all kinds of scans of the pyramids, and discovered that there are what they thought are metallic holes underneath the pyramids. They're like massive cylindrical metallic poles that span, they think, like 60 kilometers or some shit like that, down into what looked to be square rooms or chambers, and all of this is underneath of the pyramid. And also on these cylindrical tubes seems to be what they are describing as spiraling. It almost looks like
pathways, or they look like springs to me, but
right. On paper, the pictures that they've been showing look like massive springs, or walkways, or they're not sure because it's hard to tell with these these readings. They just know that they're there, and it's what it appears to be on the screen, but we don't know what they actually are. And so they kind of did like a little diagram of what, based off the readings, it's kind of showing us what it kind of looks like. And the crazy size of this is just astronomical. So it looks like in my mind, to me, if you've ever seen the inside of like battery coils or something like that, and you have cylindrical rods that have coils that go all the way around, up, which helps charge the battery or do whatever. But it looks like a part of a battery or like a Tesla coil in a way or something like that.
So, just
In my
reading
opinion.
a singular article here. The first major issue I have with this, just in general, is that they published this study when the project did not publish. So they didn't publish everything they've found, supposedly, and what they have published is completely without any peer review, which to me is an automatic red flag. If you are not getting your stuff peer reviewed, you don't believe it yourself, because that's just saying nobody else will possibly be able to believe what we found, and they're gonna call it fake, so we have to just say it. No, if it's possible, they won't say that. The other issue is that the technology that they used is just not validated. Like, it's never been used before and never been validated on anything, so we have no clue. And from the models I'm seeing of inside the actual pyramid, they've got the layout of the pyramid wrong. The model can't even get the pyramid right, so why is it going to see, kilometers below ground if it can't get the thing above ground correct? That is
right.
The skepticism I have immediately.
Right.
But, it's an interesting idea, and I still, me when it comes to pyramids. I believe there's more to them than what we know in some way, because it doesn't make sense. Oh, it's a burial chamber. No. First of all, other than the empty box we found in one, there's no proof that there's ever been anything in them.
Right.
Like, ever. They weren't storage for anything. There's nowhere to store anything. They're like, and all the pathways, you weren't carrying a body into those. You can barely walk through them. Like, there's something interesting with the pyramids that we don't know.
Right.
I'm not sure this is it.
Right. Because it's weird to me, because it's like, who decided, they needed to build this, and what was the purpose? Like,
right.
There's a purpose, and I don't think anybody really even understands why they were built in the first place. And, it's just, in my mind, I don't understand how people could how they, back then, had
there's a lot of things that don't make sense.
Audacity to make something like this, in my mind, without
even we questioned the pyramids alone.
Right.
If there's this much more to it. Now, there's a researcher at the University of Denver who claims that these claims are exaggerated because the technology is not advanced enough to create such images, which is true.
Right.
But there is a likelihood that the 5 smaller structures underneath, the really small, directly underneath structures, those likely could exist. It's everything else that probably doesn't.
Right.
But maybe. The idea of it is so cool, but
yeah. But my thing is nobody knows what the purpose of those are still to this day. Like, honestly, people have speculated, this is what it's for, this is what it's for, but nobody really can give you a definitive answer as to why they're there.
Right.
The fact that there's an argument on what they're there for in the first place tells me nobody fucking knows. So it's just, it blows my mind that so long ago, these so-called primitive people built something like this. And it's crazy to me, unless, in my mind, it's like, unless somebody somewhere that was more advanced came along and said, hey, you need to build these. I don't know how people could just think something up like this and do it so precisely. So
here's my issue with everything. I know that the idea that the Sphinx has water erosion, that looks like what would have been the equivalent of the Sphinx existing, thousands of years ago when Egypt was actually, a rainforest and not the dry place it is. As much as I want to believe that, here's the thing that I will always stand by. humanity is now believed to be somewhere near 300,000 years old. It used to be believed to be much younger than that, but now it's believed that humans or close relatives of modern humans have existed for around 300,000 years. You're telling me that all like real advancement has happened within the last 6,000? You're telling me for 294,000 years we were hunter-gatherers. And then suddenly and almost immediately we gathered into groups and then immediately started doing these things. That doesn't track to me. Like, I know the first civilization that we now know of is about 10,000 years ago in Göbekli Tepe. I think that's first. Now I want to double check myself. I'm thinking of the wrong one. Hold on. Not Göbekli Tepe. It is, fuck you. No, the one in Mesopotamia. Sorry. Göbekli Tepe is something different. I was reading something else earlier. But like that one's close to like 10,000 years ago. Cool. But like that still doesn't track. So 290,000 years of only hunter-gatherer. Right. And then immediately in less than 4,000 years, we go from hunter-gatherer to the pyramid. Something doesn't track there. Especially, we have to look at outside of the pyramids, like most modern things. You know what would be left of our civilization in 6,000 years? Because that's when we claim the pyramids exist.
Right.
You might be able to see some parts of the faces of Mount Rushmore. Right. Like Mount Rushmore is about all we got.
Yeah.
Crazy Horse, if it ever finishes. I don't know. I hope they do, because that one seems so cool. I just have no faith in it ever happening.
Yeah. But yeah, I could get behind that too. I feel like that maybe we were far more advanced at some point in our timeline than we give ourselves credit for. And then maybe something came along that, digressed us back to the primitive part of us. And then we basically re-advanced in civilization again.
The thing that's always fucked me up is I don't know if you've looked at pictures like of the pyramids.
Yeah.
Well, there's the three great pyramids.
Yes.
And then right next to them, there are those three really shitty crumbling pyramids that were supposedly built at the exact same time. Why do these ones suck?
Right. Well, I don't know. I would have to look into it. Like maybe they were built out of a different material.
Nope.
Right. That doesn't make any sense. Then why?
Right. That's why this is the conspiracy I will always believe, and that is most of what is in Egypt is older than we currently believe. I 1,000% believe that. There's just so many signs to that.
Right.
And then, like, these smaller pyramids to me are what was actually built at the time we think. And that, like you said, we were once, because, like, modern technology, if things were to disappear, you wouldn't find most of what is modern in the future. Like, if our civilization was, like, catastrophic event, apocalypse, we go back down to, 10,000 humans across the planet like we have before. Humans have neared extinction multiple times.
Right, exactly.
If we pull ourselves out of that, it's going to take a long time. Most of what is modern will be gone by the time you pulled yourself out of that. And it would take a long time to get back to where you were. Who knows how many chances of rediscovery, and who knows, maybe things never get refigured out. It's a thing I like to think about, because there's so many different ways things could happen. Is like, what if it was just different? Like, what if we found a different way that things worked in certain ways? Like, obviously, you still have to obey the laws of physics and whatever. Math is still math. But there's other things that could be different, could change how you worked.
Each time you digress to a certain point, when you go to relearn things, sometimes it changes the way people think.
Yeah.
And, perhaps if we lost all these people and we went back down to the, population of 10,000, these population of 10,000 might produce people who think differently now because they have to come up with things on their own.
Right.
In a way, it could make us smarter as a species by
Could.
having to re-advance.
Though who knows if it would, because we'll never get another Isaac Newton.
True, but what if we get somebody that's smarter or thinks differently and comes
So here's my thing with Isaac Newton. You want to know why I think he's the smartest person to ever exist? Like, actually. I gotta find the exact thing. Oh, wait, maybe I'm wrong. Hold on. Maybe it's fake. I don't know. Okay, no, okay. So, the greatest physicist in history, Isaac Newton. Just look, you read his writing and, like, everything's crazy. Hold on. The man was connected to the universe in ways I've never seen a being connected. It's kind of spooky, actually. He discovers the law of optics, figured out that white light is composed of colors. That's kind of freaky right there. You take your colors of the rainbow, put them back together, you have white light again. That freaked out every artist at the time. Right? So he figured out the laws of optics. He then discovers the laws of motion and the universal law of gravitation. And then a friend says, well, why do these why do the planets orbit the way they do and everything? So he's like, I don't know. I'll get back to you. So he goes home and comes back months later, and he's like, here's why. There's, all these things. Basically, he discovered calculus in a couple months based off this thing. All before he turned 26. Like, Newton's nuts.
Right. I think Newton had
maybe the only other options like Einstein.
Right. But I think it's not necessarily like I think they had an intimate understanding of mathematics and being able to use mathematics to problem solve and come up with theories and then prove the theory with math, basically. But also, the weird part about Albert Einstein is, he didn't have the highest quote-unquote IQ. That made, yeah, sure, 160 is still a high IQ, don't get me wrong. But it's not, necessarily how quote-unquote smart he was. It's just how he went about thinking about things.
What's weird to me about Einstein is that he never, 90% of what he's known for, he didn't prove before he died. Like, most of what Einstein was just theory that we figured out 60 years later. And it's like, damn, he was right. Shit, the thing that he claimed to be his biggest flaw, or, his biggest folly was, one of the coolest things he ever actually found out. Oh, sorry. I'm still looking at stuff about the pyramids and was confused.
Oh. Well,
I was reading a headline that was really dumb.
Albert Einstein was a strange individual, in my opinion. I don't know. He just...
Who isn't strange?
And it's funny because, he applied for to be a professor, teach. One of the smartest quote-unquote human beings to ever exist. And he applies to be a professor, and they actually turned him down. Wouldn't give him a job as a teacher. Because I think part of it's because he could, he had these theories, but people didn't believe that was possible at the time. And then later on, they were like, oh, this dude did know what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be wild, spend your life's work trying to prove to people that, hey, this is how things work, and they're like, nah, you're full of shit. And then 60 years later, they recognize you for it, but you never get to know that you got recognized for it.
Yeah. Or maybe you do.
That's
That's the great
maybe.
mystery of the
You never
universe.
know. You never know.
Where do you go when you die?
Right?
That's the only person who's given a good answer to the, you know, what happens when you die thing is Keanu Reeves. The all I know is that the people who love us will miss us. Because that is the only actual thing we know.
Right.
That and your heart stops beating. That's what we know.
I don't know. Yeah. The people that love us will miss us, and honestly, if you think about it, the people that hate us the most will miss us too.
I don't know about that.
No? You know why? Because when you hate someone bad enough and they are actually gone, now you don't know what to do with yourself because you hated that person so much. Now what do you do with all that hate and anger? Because people have to have something to put there. When they're that way, they have to have something to hate. When that's not there anymore, now what do you do? You know? So, in a way, the people that hate you the most will still miss you, even though they hated you.
I guess. Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. Ugh. Ready for a nap.
I agree. Yeah, me too. I'm not ready to go to work. It feels like I didn't even have a weekend.
So, how was your trip to Denver?
It was. Yeah, I confirmed that I do not like driving in Denver. I am so glad that I took my parents' Traverse though.
Yeah.
That
Okay,
thing
so
is
that's why
so
your
much.
truck was at their house the whole time.
Yeah, yeah, yep. We took her their Traverse because it's a lot easier to get around in cities in,
Yes.
and B, all of these flowers and shit um, that we got, I didn't have enough room to put in my truck, and I didn't want to stack them on top of each other. And so the Traverse is, it's got 3 rows of seats, and
Yeah.
and all of the seats can lay down flat, and you got all of this room to put stuff in, and it's inside, so you're not,
Yeah.
the, your flowers aren't blowing away
Yes.
out of the back of the truck.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Plus, it gets a lot better gas mileage than any truck that I would have taken. So,
Fair.
yeah, it kind of sucked. The traffic honestly sucked.
Yeah.
Um,
I found out, unfortunately, because apparently this is going to be the new plan and nobody's ever going to come pick me up. You can get a bus from Union Station, which is really downtown,
mm-hmm.
to to Fort Collins for like $30.
Oh,
So I'm gonna have to take
huh.
a bus to Fort Collins, I guess, every time I want to come home.
Oh,
It's unfortunate. Make you come
yeah.
pick me up in Fort Collins.
Fort Collins. I mean, Fort Collins is getting busy too, but it's not nearly as bad as Denver.
Yeah.
Um, but um, anyway, yeah. The other thing that pissed me off is they have the express lane now that you can use it, but they charge you every so often.
Yeah,
It's like $6.
that's existed for like 40 years.
Right, but they got it's the new ones that, because since I have been down, like the last trip I've gone to Denver, these didn't exist.
No,
Just the
they
one
did
where
because the last trip was with me. But it doesn't count because we were going to
we
the
didn't go
airport so
that
you
way
cheat.
though.
No, I know.
We went the other way. But there's the only one I ever knew was the one road you took to the airport that you could pay the
No.
toll and have better traffic. But now they got it on the regular interstate for the majority of the way.
Yeah.
And I just avoided it. I didn't use them or anything like that.
Oh, you shoulda.
But
They're great. Also, the bill wouldn't have even gone to you, so who cares? No.
well, yeah, but I'm pretty sure, all of a sudden my, mother gets a $280 bill, you know. But anyway, I avoided them because, obviously the bill doesn't come to me, and so I didn't want to, my parents freaking out thinking that their cards been frauded because they're getting these bills in the mail.
Yeah.
Which is funny because there's been a bunch of, scams lately where you get text messages where it's like, oh, you need to pay this.
Yeah,
toll.
I've gotten a couple of those, and it's like, that's not.
It's like, huh,
Well,
I
it's
haven't
also a
traveled
thing
anyway,
where
so.
even if you had, they tell you the only way you get this bill is in the mail.
Right.
That's it.
Yep. And so anyway, we pick up the flowers and we go and eat at Chick-fil-A because where else do you eat?
You're in Denver, so
We technically were in Denver.
yeah, but you were close enough to go to In-N-Out.
Yeah,
You were.
it would have been a lot of extra driving to get to
No,
In-N-Out.
it wouldn't have.
We did look. Yeah, it would have been. And I didn't want to go through this.
There's
I
one.
didn't want to actually go through Denver.
There's one outside of Denver. There's one in like the malls in like Loveland.
Oh well. We just because the Chick-fil-A was literally like 3 blocks from where we picked up the flowers.
There's one, yeah, in Loveland. It's in Loveland.
Oh, I didn't know that, but
And it's not directly on the interstate. It's just a little off of it, but not in a bad spot.
that wouldn't have been too bad. But
Yeah.
but anyway, Chick-fil-A was like 3 blocks away from where we picked up the flowers.
Yeah.
So we just ate there, and so when we left there, we're following directions to get back onto the interstate.
Yeah.
And we get onto this road, and I'm like, oh shit, this is a nice road. There's not very much traffic, and just following the directions and stuff that it takes us. And I'm like, man, why is there not very much traffic on this road? And then I look, and it says, oh, toll ahead. Well, there's nowhere, and then there's nowhere for you to get off of the road. So I'm like, you motherfuckers, fucking tell you that you follow these directions and they doesn't tell you anything about there's a toll on this road or anything. There's no signs, no nothing until you're like a mile away from it and says, oh, toll ahead, but it's a one-way. You can't turn around and go back the other way. So you're just stuck paying this toll whether you like it or not. You can't turn around. Can't get off anywhere. I'm like, this is a scam and a half here. But also that pisses me off because it's like, oh, that state pays a lot in taxes to have good roads, and the only good shit that they put in that's brand new is the toll express lane, and you have to pay for that. Pay more for it. It's like, well, okay. See how it works here. Pay taxes, then you got to pay it again for the new shit that the taxes just paid for.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've been listening, but I also have been looking at. So, the Rockies just announced their, opening day roster. So, yesterday, the Rockies traded away a guy who almost won Rookie of the Year 2 years ago. He was injured last year. They traded him for a utility man, which is just a guy who never starts but can kind of play everywhere. So, just a bench guy. They traded this guy who was a star for a bench guy, just straight up. That's it.
Welcome to the Rockies.
Yeah, so I was like, fine, maybe this makes sense because Zach Veen, who you've heard me talk about before, just won the team MVP for spring training. So maybe that just means he's making the opening day roster and like this is just opening the spot for him, which in that case, cool. No, he got optioned to AAA, and some guy who batted .212, which is I think below the Mendoza line, which means really bad, named Nick Martini. He's 34. He made the opening day roster, not the guy who just batted 400 and won team MVP in spring training. So, sorry, I had to cry a bit.
What is the Rockies doing, dude?
I don't know.
What are they doing?
I don't know. Nothing good. Nothing good.
I don't understand their thought process, dude. I don't even know baseball, and I'm like, what are you doing? It makes no sense. Like, who makes the decisions over there?
A guy who's lost 100 games in back-to-back seasons.
Yeah. You should, maybe think about going and doing something else.
No,
Let someone else come in and actually. It's what the sad part about it is like the Rockies could be good, but anytime they ever have a chance to be good, they just trade all their shit away, their good players, and get lesser players and pay them more.
yeah. And
Like
dude,
the Rockies
like
are actively trying
I
to
get
not be good.
I get Coors Field is annoying, right? I do. Because it is. You can't pitch there. So sure, you'll never get star pitchers, but first of all, just go get pitchers who throw pitches that make sense. Like actual off-speed pitches mostly don't work. Like a curveball, a slider, that shit doesn't work in Denver. You want, fastballs and sinkers. You want guys throwing fastballs and then other types of fastballs that have break, and that's it. Because they can still move in that Denver air. So you go get those guys at pitcher. All right, you have the biggest outfield in all of baseball. So you want outfielders who are really fast. Then you want guys who can hit. That's it. It outside of the outfield, it doesn't really matter how good they are on defense if they can't hit. You need hitters because odds are, welcome to Coors Field, you're gonna get into a lot of who can score the most runs. So you want a team that's good at scoring runs. But no, we'll have slow outfields, pitchers who only throw off speed, and guys who are really good on defense but can't hit, and we'll wonder why the fuck it doesn't work.
I don't know. I feel like the owners of the Rockies are being paid by the other owners of baseball teams to be shitty.
Maybe.
I swear, there's got to be something going on because there's no way you legitimately look at that and think, "Oh, that's a good thing to do." We've lost 100 games in back-to-back seasons. Obviously, we're doing the right thing. Let's keep doing what we're doing.
Oh, I just don't get it.
We all know what the definition of insanity is, right?
But luckily, I am excited for this. I don't know how I'm going to do this for stream because Grayson and Caleb will probably want me to react to WrestleMania with them like live. And I don't know if I'm going to do that because I could watch it on my fancy TV. It'd be pretty.
Right.
But WrestleMania is soon. That's exciting-ish.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's not much to be excited about, other than also wrestling pisses me off because they're still bullying Finn Balor.
Fuck Finn Balor.
I'll kill you.
Do it. Oh,
everything's sad, man.
Right there is a picture of our.
You kid?
I call it my little bean. Just a little tiny.
Yeah.
Little tiny kidney bean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What am I watching? I don't know. Something. I'm struggling. I gotta get more so I'm fairly caught up on YouTube stuff. I gotta plan out how I'm gonna do stuff because I've been thinking about adding more cooking videos and stuff once I move. Right. So I gotta figure out maybe start uploading twice a week, even though I just changed it to once a week. But I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Might be a little easier when there's not other people in your house,
Right.
Might be a little easier to use the other parts of your house as a film studio when there's not other people trying to exist in your house.
True. Yeah, I don't know. It's my freaking house is going to have a lot of stuff in it here soon. Well, it already has a lot of stuff in it, but
yeah, it's about moving time.
Yeah, we're gonna get a storage unit to put a lot of the stuff in for now. If we can find a cheap one for $50 or something like that, we'll be okay with that. Just so we have, we could keep the stuff in our house, but I don't like to be clustered. I like to be able to. Oh, if I have a guest that comes and stays the night, I want to be able to use the guest room and not have so much shit in it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. Either Thursday or Friday or something, you'll have to come over so we can do those videos.
Yeah. It would.
Because I
It'll
got
probably have to be
volleyball.
Thursday, and then you
Yeah,
got volleyball. Then Tuesday we're doing this, and then Wednesday.
yeah.
Oh, I
I
have
think
D&D.
Tuesday.
Duh.
I think Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday I have a fire training.
Right.
That's not till.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's after we do this, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, because that's not till 7. So.
And then Wednesday I have D&D.
Yep. Yeah. So Thursday, we'll try to plan on Thursday. Then
Yep.
you can come over, or I can go over there, or whatever.
Because
Doesn't
the
matter.
only no, I'll go over there. It's a little easier, I think.
Right.
You have couches.
Yeah. Yeah. Indeed.
And no other people.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we can do that. And
Yeah.
even if Aspen happens to be here, we can just just have her come.
She can just be hanging around. She can laugh at us being stupid.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
It'll genuinely be like, so the guys the guys who were copying for the ideas for this are the one. So Cam is the one that always wears a hat, funnily enough, and then Michael, the other one, his girlfriend appears sometimes making fun of them in the background. So I feel like that works out.
Right.
Oh, goofy.
Indeed. Yeah. Man, I can't believe you're already moving.
Yeah, from like the time I went and looked at places to the time I moved, it wasn't very long.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting.
But they don't really hold places for you very well, so you kind of.
It's also
choose
true.
A place, you kind of got to get it,
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I got extremely fortunate for being able to have the place I have. I don't know anywhere else where you're going to be able to rent a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house for $600 a month.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's also cheating because you're friends with the.
It is cheating, but
I don't feel like I would have gotten the same deal.
No.
No.
But they are happy for me because I actually pay every month my $600. The last people that lived here, they might have got some money that month, and then a few months would go by and not get nothing, and they're too nice to kick people out, which I get it. People are, especially since this person had a couple of kids and been divorced and was struggling to have money, and I don't know. So I get it, they but also you still have to be able to, pay for the place in the first place, They were originally they were like, if you just pay the utilities, you can just live in it. We just need somebody to live in it, really, so it doesn't fall apart.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, I'm okay with that, but it kind of feels, I'm still using the place, so I was like, I still think you should probably come up with a certain amount of money for me,
Yeah.
for, especially if I happen to need a washing machine or something like that, then, you guys have been getting paid so that you might be able to be, to just go get me a new washing machine,
right,
rather than I have to buy it and then they take it out of my rent for the next 4 or 5 months,
Right.
So, I don't know.
That's so funny. So there was this TikTok that got made, and it shows Oklahoma and Massachusetts, right? It's like Oklahoma, 44th in education, 49th in healthcare, 44th in quality of life, 50th in test scores, top 10 worst in poverty. Massachusetts, first in education, second in healthcare, first in quality of life, first in test scores, top 10, like least poverty. The first comment on the video is what kills me, though. It's just, if the people of Oklahoma could read, they would be furious right now.
I've seen that before, actually. That's pretty old, actually.
Is it? That's still funny.
That's been around for a few years. I've seen that like a couple years ago.
Maybe. I just saw it, but it's funny as hell.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's a reason why it's so cheap to live in Oklahoma, so.
Yeah, because they want a human who can walk and chew gum at the same time. They don't make any of those in Oklahoma. But
Yeah, trust me, I know. I dated one.
That's awful. You're not wrong, but that's awful.
Yeah. And not that this person was stupid, but
No, I know. It has always offended me though that they could get free college.
Right.
I could not.
They had literally free college to Harvard if they fucking wanted to, if they were to get accepted.
Right. And I couldn't go fucking no.
Literally,
it seems like some shit.
But in the end, ended up dropping out, I think. I don't even know if they continued. They ended up dropping out, going to be a bartender, and is still currently doing that to this day.
Nice. So somebody posted this thing about the Vikings offensive line with the two guys they added. And it shows like Brian O'Neill, 2-time Pro Bowler, team captain, right? It shows Will Fries, and it shows his 86.9 PFF grade. These are both, really good, really good. Then Ryan Kelly, 4-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro. Then it shows Blake Brandel, our left guard, that's just like 6'7", 315 pounds. Christian Darrisaw, 81.4 PFF grade. So it's like, here's how this goes. Really good, really good, really good, really big, really good. He's really big. Oh, so funny.
Big scary monsters.
Oh, incredible. Then I saw somebody bullying the Saints, and that made me happy. Like, absolutely wild that the Saints didn't make a Super Bowl from, like, 2017 to 2020. So much talent on those teams. Amazing Drew Brees and Sean Payton seasons. A lot of good players on rookie contracts. All that stuff. And then somebody just posted pictures of Diggs in the end zone with his arms spread out, and then Kyle Rudolph making the catch. Because the Vikings beat the Saints twice in that time period in the playoffs. It's like, haha. Yeah, you know what stopped you? Case fucking Keenum, bro. The losing to Case Keenum in the playoffs really does feel like Deadpool killing the one guy. You're about to be killed by a Zamboni. Like, that's just how it feels. It's incredible, dude. Oh, I got so I know this is really important for you to know right now, but I have the merch designs for the September subathon done.
Already?
Yeah. So I have money now. I'm not sure if I will in August. So I figured make them now.
Fair enough.
That's why I also that's why I also already gave the money to my aunt for my plane ticket to TwitchCon. It's like, I will pay that now. I'm not going to actually buy the plane ticket yet because they're kind of ridiculously expensive. Because plane tickets are weird. They're really expensive, and then they get to like a good price, and then they get really expensive again when you get even closer to the date. Mm. You need that weird middle ground. Spot. Yep.
Yeah.
We have not hit the sweet spot yet because it's like $600 right now, and I'm good.
Holy shit. Yeah, no, I'm good. I don't need to go anywhere.
No, it's even like $350 for like economy tickets. I'm like, I'm good, dude. That's what I should be paying for my first class seat.
Blown off with $180 ticket.
Right? It's like, this is what I should be paying for my first class seat, not my economy seat where I can't even take my bag for free. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Be easier to get to the airport this time, though.
Right. Shit. My mother flew twice out of the big town to the east of us for like $250.
Yeah.
Which was nice because my dad didn't have to go drive through Denver to try and pick up my sister and my mother.
Right.
If anybody's not a city driver, it's my dad.
Well, now if me and you ever go on a trip together, you can just catch a bus to the Union Station, and then we'll catch an Uber on out.
Right.
Nothing wrong with taking a bus.
Right, yeah.
Sometimes. Other times there's something wrong with a bus. Who knows?
I don't know. If I'm flying, I'll just meet you at the airport. I'll just have somebody drop me off.
Fair.
It's just as easy when it comes to the airport's not that bad, really.
Yeah.
It's just driving in the city.
Yeah, if you actually have to go into Denver, it sucks. Denver traffic is stupid.
Right.
I don't hate this is what I know compared to especially compared to Vegas. I don't hate walking Denver. Mm-hmm. It's not bad.
Right.
What is that face about? Like, I hate it. Well, it smells like a city in there.
I don't know. Well, it's wild to me.
Yeah.
Like, I get marijuana's legalized there and stuff. Literally coming down the interstate, I cracked the window for 2 seconds and I'm like, pot.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just everywhere. And especially, it's rough for me because I don't like the smell and I can't stand the smell that much. It instantly gives me a headache. I don't know why.
See, it was weird. We had that issue in a couple of places, but when we were actually walking around downtown, never smelled it.
Huh.
Not once.
Well, that's good. Maybe you're in an area that's not.
Doesn't mean I won't,
heavy.
But
right.
at the very time, it wasn't.
Yeah. I don't know. I have a hard time with it, but I mean, other people can deal with it. Kudos to them. I'm not a fan, so I just I try to avoid it. You know, I'm not going to tell people to do it. To change their lives because I don't like something. I'll just exclude myself from it.
Right.
And if I need to be around it, I can deal with it for a time being. I'm just not going to, I'm not going to hang around too long. Because I mean, I wouldn't want somebody to show up in my state and tell me, "Hey, I don't agree with what you're doing. You need to change your habits and lifestyle." I wouldn't want somebody to do that to me, so I'm not going to do it to other people.
Valid.
But
okay, so there's this NBA player. He's got accusations with a non-of-age person, right? We're gonna say it, but so this is it's just this part's just funny. Last night he had a historic night, like a historic stat line. He had 15 points, 10 rebounds, 17 assists, and 8 steals, and every single comment is about none of that being over 18.
I knew where this was going. Probably
it's incredible.
Oh, the fact that song's on the radio now.
It's so good, dude. I love it.
That whole song goes through the radio. I'll listen to the whole song. The only part I sing is probably a minor.
Yeah, dude. Dude, I will never get over the Super Bowl, dude. The way he stopped and stared into the camera to say that. Say Drake, he said that with his whole chest.
Yeah.
I love it. Dude, as much as I like to consider myself a quality hater, specifically CM Punk and Kendrick Lamar have shown me over the last year that I am not hating to my full potential. CM Punk flew to Australia to interfere in a wrestling match on a show he was not involved in. That is the type of hater I aspire to be.
Oh, man.
I gotta fuck somebody else over, god damn it. It's good time. It's good time. Ooh, that food looks good. You're gonna have to share. You're gonna have to share. Is this still on the table? Arkansas basketball. Wow, it is still on the table. So, John Calipari, he was the coach at Kentucky for a long time. When Kentucky was like the basketball school. He got fired and is now coaching at Arkansas. Arkansas and Kentucky, the only way those two teams can meet up is in the national championship. But both teams did make the Sweet 16. There's still a chance we get Kentucky versus the old Kentucky coach. I want it. It would be funny. I have not watched a single bit of college basketball, but that's not important. I just want the thing to happen. You know how it is.
Right, yeah.
I hear, I see funny thing as an option. I want funny thing to happen.
Right.
It's like poetry. It rhymes. That's fun. Ugh. But, yeah. All right, I guess we'll call it good there and record in 2 days.
Yep.
I was going to say, next episode, you guys see I'll be moved. And while that's true, the episode won't be from anywhere new. It'll still be from right here. So,
right. That's the one after that.
Yeah.
So,
be in a whole different spot.
Right.
That's weird. That'll be the first episode of this podcast I'll record not while living here.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
It's also going to be weird to see you with more space.
There might not be more space. I'm packing that house pretty tight.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, all of your stuff exists
in a room. Yeah.
There'll be more than that where you're living.
Yeah.
You're going to live, so you'll have more space.
I'm excited. I am excited for the first time, like, you actually come over to this place just to see it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I'm intrigued by how that'll go.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll do a video tour.
Oh yeah,
for us all.
Once I get it done. Yep.
Yeah,
dude. So I've been trying to decide. I should save this for next week, but I'm not gonna. I've been trying to decide if I should film this as like a moving vlog, and then in that vlog have me setting up everything, and then do only a second video that is a tour. Or do the vlog of everything being moved and then do like individual little setup stuff, like, you know, building the ultimate living room and then building the ultimate setup and then the bedroom, like do individual things or just one big thing. I don't know. I'm struggling. So we'll see.
Well,
we'll see what I decide.
On the table anyway.
Right. I have ideas. I just don't know what I'm going with. The video that comes out on Tuesday is me complaining about this fucking phone.
I've never heard you complain
I hate
about
this
iPhone.
phone, dude. Genuinely hate it. Yeah. To the point where I'm actually unsure if I will get an iPhone next year.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
To me, to hear that. That is wild.
Right now, I'm kind of leaning towards... So I know I won't get a Samsung either. My Fold is good, but the issues with the Fold that are specifically Samsung issues bug me, especially when OnePlus and Google make foldables that are better currently. Like, if I'm already going to deal with the bugs of it being a foldable, I would like the other parts of this phone to be better. I like my Fold, don't get me wrong. It's just the next one will either be the OnePlus Open or the Pixel, whatever number is out then, Fold.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'll end up with an iPhone. Maybe. If they get rid of this fucking button. Drives me nuts. I hate it. They added a button. It's unlike Apple to add buttons, and they did, and it's ass. Well, how do you add one that's for taking pictures? That, like, this is how you'd hold your phone if you want to take a picture. Button's not here. It's not here. It's here. That's not comfortable. And then, like, in any mode, it takes so much pressure to push that button that you end up shaking your phone and the picture looks like shit. Pisses me off. Sucks, dude. It sucks.
Funny.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Yeah, all right. I will see you on Tuesday. For everybody else, we'll see you on Thursday. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.